Okay, street talk time, and oh gosh, it was a good episode. Good week of Coronation Street, actually, this week. I very much enjoyed all of this stuff. Did you like this week's Coronation Street, Gemma? Was it not great?
Yes, it was great.
Yeah, so good. I mean, it had most of the stories that were in there were the ones that I'd been particularly enjoying. You had your Imran and Toyah and Abby story, the happy baby story, which was going to kick off today. We had the Rick and Mortis story with poor old Laura confessing to Rick's murder. We had cute stuff with Emma. I thought we'd call it Happily Emma After, because it sounds like she's, unlike Toyah, she is going to have a happy fairy tale ending with this lovely chap, Jon.
Especially if she doesn't actually skydive out of a real plane.
Yes, yeah, I think she should stick to the fake ones, the indoor ones. Would you like to do that?
No.
Did you fancy having your cheeks flapping about like Emma's? No, not your thing? I don't know, it looks kind of fun. And we had the TMI story with Tim and Sally. Summer burnout, that's a thing. And we also had stuff with...
What's summer burnout?
Well, I was having a look
at
storyline
look at the sun
titles.
Too much?
No, it's just when you kind of feel like what did I say it was? Like when you feel a bit like you haven't... been a bit lethargic around summer and you can't bring yourself to do anything because it's too hot and you can't... I don't know, there's a rubbish storyline title, but at least it's got one. I haven't got a storyline title for the number 9 stuff, but we have got Gemma. I don't know, this is why this is personally a 5 out of 5 week for you. We did have a bit more of the thrill of the chest storyline in today's episode. So, I will start off with the Happy Baby storyline. And this is not going to be a happy Billy ever after for those two, because it's all over, Gemma. Our favourite relationship, our couple that we have identified with all this time, the ones that we would definitely go around their house for a dinner party.
Not doing this podcast
done
anymore.
Over with, tragic stuff. Oh my gosh.
But if she wants to offload that castle thing, I'll have it.
Yeah, did you had like a My Little Pony castle or something? Am I remembering this story from your childhood right?
Yeah.
Is this the one that your dad went out and queued up to buy you or something?
No, my dad queued up to buy me Zelda on the SNES.
Oh yeah, but you wanted a pink fairy tale castle.
This was a different time. It wasn't a simultaneous event.
I hope not. You're a little bit over it then. Okay, anyway, so there wasn't much of this storyline on Monday. It was just kind of the warm-up time there. What are you saying about? Nothing. I just remember having your happy memories of your Princess Castle. So Imran is off to see Abby on Monday's episode because it's the hearing on Wednesday. You need to go and settle her nerves. He tries to put on a brave face about it, but this is pretty important to him because it's not just obviously Abby keeping her baby that's on the line or his own reputation, which has probably not been doing so great recently because after a few cases, but he could be losing his own son if this goes badly. So he and Abby are at the hospital. We have a scene with them later, both being very doting parents. Abby to Imran is just he's besotted with this little kid, isn't he? And it's like everything else has stopped. He doesn't care. It's not he doesn't care about Elsie and Toyah, but I think for Imran, Alfie trumps all, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Everything is happy and lovely, although he does look a bit worried when Abby's out of sight because, like I said, he could be losing this kid on Wednesday. Abby asks...
He's also ill.
Who's... Oh, yeah, Alfie is also ill. He's got bad guts. So Abby says to Imran... Look, when are you going to break it to Toyah? When are you going to tell her that you've got a secret baby? Because she didn't think he's going to do it. She didn't think he's got the guts to do it. And he says, look, I just need to choose the right moment. And then, speak of the devil, in comes Toyah. They were supposed to be looking at wedding venues or something later that episode, but she says, I've cancelled it, Imran, because I want to make it so you can concentrate on this case, and don't worry, I'm sure we'll have plenty of chance to do that later. Good job they didn't put a deposit down, that's all I can say.
Would have been bad.
Yes. Wednesday. Imran is looking a bit sad and he tries sneaking off out of the house first thing in the morning, but Toyah catches him. He's like, where are you off to, mister? And he's like, I'm just going to sort out things with Abby before the trial. And Toyah, still very, very naive Toyah, poor Toyah, saying, oh, Imran, you're such a dedicated lawyer. Oh, you're so wonderful. Abby is lucky to have you. And he's like, yeah. Anyway, off I go. So he's back at the hospital again, fawning over Alfie, and he says, look, Abby, I don't think this ruling is going to go in our favour today, in your favour, sorry, today. And she says, but I need this. I need to have a chance to have a fresh new start. I need to make Seb proud. I'll never let you down, Alfie. So he's being a bit of a realist about the situation, because I guess he's seen similar cases like this in the past. But she thinks, I'm Abby Franklin Webster. Everything always goes all right for me. It's going to be fine. I need this to be fine. Please make this be fine. But she does have last minute nerves when they get to the courthouse before going in. And Imran kind of has a sit down with her outside the room and says, look, I'm risking a lot too here. Not just you, what with this whole undisclosed fatherhood thing. And if I get found out, I could get struck off. Because he's not declared a link to the baby boy. That's it, isn't it?
He hasn't declared an interest in the case.
No, he's got somewhat of a vested interest in this case, and I could literally lose everything now. And then, hey, Toyah turns up for support, so always knows the right moment to pop in and make things a little bit more tense for them all. So they go in. Is it prosecution? The person that was saying no, Abby shouldn't keep the baby.
I really do not know who that person.
She's not being a criminal, is she?
It's a hearing. I don't know.
I don't know. Whoever it is that's the anti Imran says, look at that Abby. She's what a drug-addled strumpet she is. She shouldn't be in charge of a baby. She's already given her 2 siblings away. Son's dead. She probably wasn't watching, and I think that we need an interim care order. Thank you very much. So she does quite a good job, but then it's Imran's turn to talk, and we all know that Imran is pretty good at his long-winded and expertly delivered, crafted, exactly, speeches. And if he's going to fight for anything, this is the one to go for. And he does give a jolly good speech about why Abby gave up Charlie and Lexi, because it's for the best for them. Also, don't forget, Seb died last year. That's a bit tragic, isn't it? And you want to whip this baby away from her as well? Oh, that's just not cricket, mate. So that was pretty stressful. Also, she didn't know she was pregnant with Alfie. Honestly, that other woman there that was just talking says that of course she should know, but she didn't. She just dropped a baby. It happens. And you know what though? When she saw baby Alfie for the first time, she knew she wanted him, by golly. But the judge doesn't seem to have been convinced. Abby's behaviour, she says, cannot be excused. Don't know who the father is. What a mess this whole situation is. Interim care order granted. So just as Imran had warned, Alfie is not going to Abby. What does it actually mean? Does it mean that he will just end up in with a foster care, or he's going to be down the orphanages, scrubbing out the insides of chimneys and everything?
Well, they're having another hearing, aren't they?
Is there? I can't remember what's happened with it.
Because she's going to appeal or something.
Oh, well, maybe she says later.
That's why this other bloke's involved,
Oh, yeah. The Elliot later, yeah. Okay, but I suppose if they don't...
Interim, you know what that means.
For the time being...
interim care order.
Okay, so for the time being, Alfie is going to be going off somewhere else. Although, I mean, he's not going to be going anywhere for the moment, is he? Because he's hooked up to the medical equipment at the hospital. Anyway, Imran's telling Abby, look, don't give up hope. And she is determined not to. So they go back to the street, have a nice cuppa in Roy's.
Toyah and
Imran do. I don't know why they don't just go home, make one there, because Imran just wants to have a cry. But I think maybe he just likes the idea of having a public. But does he want Roy to come and pat him on the head or something?
He wants a free cup of tea.
Do you think so? Do you think if he looks, maybe
he'll get a biscuit?
Yeah, does his sad eyes at Roy, he'll get a free cup of tea out of it? Maybe you're right. He's utterly distraught at this, and Toyah's look, just please don't torture yourself about this one. Maybe this is the best thing for Abby and Alfie right now. It'll give her some time to get back on her feet. She's just trying to see the positives in the situation, and she's also a little bit confused about why Imran's taking this so badly. I mean, he loses cases all the time. Surely by now he's used to it. And why is this one affecting him too much? And he says, look, just a bit much. What with the Elsie situation, it's a bit close to home because we got our whole adoption thing going on there. And it's just really affecting me. So maybe I should take a step back. And she's like, well, if that's what you think is best, I will support you no matter what. What, she doesn't stick with that, does she?
That's very true.
Only one episode later. So Toyah goes to see Abby.
She meets her in the street.
Yeah, she bumps into her, doesn't she? She thinks that Imran has told her by now that he's taking a step back and he's going to find another lawyer to take on the case. And she doesn't take the news well. She just kind of says, "Oh, fine." Turns around.
Toyah tells Abby this.
Yeah. Toyah tells Abby. Abby spins round on her heels and clops off down the street. Imran arrives at the hospital later. He realises he's got 5 missed calls from Abby. So he goes to the woman at the desk and is like, "Hello, it's me, Imran. I've come to see Alfie, please." And she's like, "Sorry, Abby's requested that you don't see the baby anymore." So he has to go round to her flat. Where's she staying at the moment? Have they said? Is she in the...
She's staying in the precinct.
Oh, yeah. Well, she wasn't she? He goes round there, hammers on her door and says, "Look, you can't stop me seeing my son." So she lets him in. They have a bit of a Barney. He says, "Look, Toyah was just getting too close to the truth here. I've had to take a step back." She's like, "Well, you should have just lied about it. That's your job, isn't it? You're a lawyer." And he says, "Look, I'm going to get you another one, a specialist."
That would have been good to start with, though, wouldn't it? Because then you wouldn't have got into this mess about not being able to put your name on the certificate.
Well, no, I get that he wanted to add a bit of personal touch.
He's being cheap.
Well, it's cost him dearly now. She's like, "I'm not going to lose my son over this." And she's and also Imran says, "I'm going to put my name on the birth certificate too." So that's going to be that's going to make things a bit better for us. And she doesn't believe he'd do it. What's that going to mean for the adoption of Elsie? And he says, "Look, my son comes first, and he always will."
Oh dear.
Poor Elsie.
Poor Toyah.
I know, poor everybody. So he gets home. He's all smiley. He's like, "Oh, I've solved my problem, but I can't tell you about it, Toyah." He says, "Look, I told Abby that I'm stepping away from the case. I'm focusing on Elsie now." And speaking of Elsie, she kind of calls Toyah into her room. I think Elsie has definitely had more lines this week than ever in total, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Nothing of any particular substance. More just like, "Come and play with me, come and read me a story," or whatever, but very, very cute. Anyway, Toyah gets called into Elsie's room, and the door's barely closed before Imran does his sneaky look, sneaks his phone out of his suit pocket and phones up Abby very loudly, even though Toyah's just in the next room, telling her, "Look, I've been in touch with a great adoption lawyer." This was Elliot something or other. It's the same person that helped with the adoption of Ollie, I think he said. I don't know.
He was involved. He was to do with hospital stuff.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, got this great bloke.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to pay for him and everything. Don't worry about Toyah. Everything's going to be fine. It isn't, is basically the synopsis for Friday's episode. It is not fine, but it was very dramatic, so it was good. And Toyah and Imran are starting the episode talking about the fact that they've got this meeting with the social worker later about Elsie, sorry. Abby contacts Toyah and tells her about being represented by Elliot, which Imran says, "Oh yeah, I knew about that. I convinced him to do it pro bono."
Lie.
Yes, I know it is. Imran swears to Abby that he's going to tell Toyah the truth about the birth certificate after this adoption meeting, because they've been to town or wherever you go first thing, haven't they? So they've got this paperwork. Abby's got the birth certificate stashed away in her bag. But yeah, Imran says, I'll tell Toyah about it. He goes off. Then Toyah pops out of the cafe, bumps into Abby, spills a load of coffee all over her, and offers to help her up. And she sees this package in Abby's bag, which Abby snatches away, which gets Toyah a little bit suspicious. What's going on there?
I've never seen anybody keep a birth certificate in a padded envelope.
I don't. It's a good job it was, wasn't it? It wasn't just loose. Otherwise, she'd have to go back to town again and get a replacement for the coffee stained one. Anyway.
No, that's
Kevin...
how you age it, to make it look authentic.
Is that right?
You screw it up and then you cover it in tea bags.
Maybe when Alfie grows up, he can say, "Mum, why have I got coffee all over my birth certificate?"
Like,
well, son, there's a funny story behind that. It was a good one, I promise. Kevin goes over to see Abby later. Pretty soon after, to check that she's okay, because he can see that she's been a bit flustered in the street. She hides the birth certificate away as well and says, "Well, what are you doing here?" He says, "I'm just worried about you." But yeah, he's spotted this envelope and he thinks there's something suspicious going on there. He thinks it's drugs or whatever, or a gun, I don't know. She says, look, you're just checking that I'm clean. I absolutely am. Oh no, this is in the flat later, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot, because I missed the fact that Kevin went to see Toyah, and Toyah was like, oh, something funny going on with Abby. She saw this package. That's right. So Kevin's at Abby's flat now. He's seeing this envelope in her bag.
Tea.
He's like, Abby, make me a cup of tea.
Yep.
She says, right, off the kitchen. Don't look in my bag or anything, Kevin. He does. He opens the bag, finds the wallet, looks at the certificate. He knows the truth. Ah. And I thought this was great. I didn't expect it to happen. I didn't know when I was expecting it to all come out, but even if it was going to be today's episode, which I had a bit of a suspicion about, I didn't expect it to be this early on in the episode, and the rest of it was just the rather dramatic fallout. So Abby hears the door slam from the kitchen, goes into the lounge. She sees the paperwork all on the sofa, and she's like, oh my gosh, the truth is out. Imran, ring, ring, ring. You gotta phone me. He's at this adoption meeting at the moment, so he doesn't pick up the call. But she says, Kevin knows. What are we going to do about it? So meanwhile, this adoption meeting is just starting. Imran's starting to get a little bit worried. He's sitting there with the woman, and Toyah hasn't turned up at this point.
He's making small talk.
Yeah,
and he's having a time of his life because he thinks everything's gonna work out.
Yeah, he doesn't know what.
He's like really jovial.
He is very, very happy and smiley, and he thinks like,
making jokes. All
of his birds come home to roost. Like everything is absolutely perfect for him, and he's saying, yeah, we're going to be great foster parents. It's going to be wonderful.
The lady asked him a question, didn't she?
Yeah, she says, what makes you think that you'd be suitable foster parents? And Imran's like, do you want me to just say how great I am? Well, let me tell you. And Toyah kind of butts in, and she's very serious. And she says, look, we love her. We do anything for her, no matter what it means for us. We want what's best for her. And what?
Did she say... Yeah, okay.
Well, and Imran's kind of grinning about how great they'd be and how they're Team Elsie and everything, and Toyah at this point is looking set to cry, and this is this is quite a fun reveal.
This was like really disconcerting.
It was. It felt it a little bit.
Why is she, what's going? She knows. She must know.
It was a gradual
how did
kind
she
of.
Find...
Oh, does she know? Surely she does. But yeah, because she started the meeting completely, as if you would. She didn't. I don't think she gave anything away straight away. Her response about, "Oh, we love her," just came from a sense of, to me, coming from a place of, this is really, really important to me. I've always wanted a child.
Yeah.
I've got this little cutie pie in my grasp. I love this kid, and that's why I'm being quite stoic and solemn about it. But yeah, as the meeting goes on, it looks like maybe she knows something, because she's starting to tear up a little bit, and Imran's there not noticing at all really. He's like,
oblivious.
Oh well, we live in walking distance of a park and a school. If he was talking about Victoria Gardens, I think he oversold it.
He's a liar. It's not a park, it's more of a small seating area
with a bench plants. and a potting that's not a shed, is it? What would you call it? Little cupboard, little potting cupboard. And then this is when Toyah blurts out that he's a liar. She knows. Kevin's told her. We see as she's having a rant, we see the camera kind of cuts to Kevin, doesn't it? And he's there with his mobile phone in his hand. He's obviously texted her to tell her what he found out. Well, it was a photograph of the birth certificate, wasn't it? Because we see it on her phone later.
Abby's been doing Imran's pants as well as mine.
Yeah, she has. He's found out. She's been doing his pants. That's why they've been running out of washing powder.
So fast.
She's not been snorting it or anything. She's been washing Imran's pants.
Disgusting.
And she's already got a son, Toyah says. He's already got a son with a grieving drug addict. She says, I really, really love Elsie and I want her in my life, but now I can't, not with him. It's over.
The adoption lady's sad. Like,
drama.
Wow, this is not how this is supposed to go.
No, not quite. Although she's very nice about it, and she says, I think we'll just stop the meeting now, but
I'm not going to write this down.
I'm going home now, so if you want to have the room, just lock the door on the way out.
She's like, it's Friday night, I'm leaving. This is
Yeah, I'm going.
Too much for me.
Yeah, I'm going down to Roy's where everybody hangs out on a Friday night before heading out on the town.
I'm going to hit the town with girls. See you later.
Yeah. Toyah tells Imran he's ruined everything, and he says, look, just let me give you a chance to tell you the truth. So he tells her all about it happened after the court case with Kelly, going to Sabine's first, then finding Abby in a bar, going to a hotel with her, and Toyah is really kind of she's on the ball for the first time in many weeks, and she's like, hang on a minute, you did Abby have this hotel room before you went to it?
Oh, this is terrible.
No, she didn't. So that means that you decided to go and have sex together. You booked a hotel room. Lies upon lies upon lies. And what happened? And how did she get pregnant?
I'm just glad that Coronation Street addressed my query about where did they do it, because I've been accusing them of doing it in a toilet.
No.
I think that somebody on the maybe it was Charlie D'Amelio. Maybe he insisted. It's like, look, Imran is a dirty dog, but he's not gross. I need to regain my reputation with the Conversation Street podcast listeners.
Yeah, let's have them go to a classy hotel.
Name to stop being dragged through the mud like a disgusting street urchin. He went to a classy hotel, everybody.
Yeah, probably wasn't in the Chariot Square Hotel, or otherwise maybe you would have seen it. And she says, look, how did she get pregnant? He says, oh, I thought she was on the pill. But yeah, I guess she wasn't.
Well, she's like, oh, why didn't you wear a condom? And he was like, she said it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like, okay, dude, sorry, what?
Toyah is just like, I can't believe I'm hearing this. And he's like, don't worry, I went to an a sexual health clinic, and I made sure that me and you didn't have sex for a while until I found the notes. It was just, it was a very kind of...
This was too much raw information.
It was a bit. It was, well, not so much as Sally and Tim. Yeah, exactly. She says, when did you find... How long have you known that she was pregnant? It was interesting, he kind of went straight to, oh yeah, it was New Year's Eve. Because although he thought that she was pregnant on New Year's Eve, it didn't last for long, did it? Because like he said to her, she said, oh, it was a false alarm, it was fine. I probably wouldn't have just mentioned that, because that's just made himself look worse. Although, if he does want to be given the full truth now...
He was in a hole and he was digging, trying to get to Australia to get out of the situation.
Yeah. It just all starts to click into place with her now, and she realises, oh, this is why you've been representing her. This is why when I suggested that Abby come and stay with us, you said no. And she's like, did you care about Elsie or yourself? And he kind of admits that although obviously he does love Elsie, he was really just trying to protect his secret with that one. And she says, what happened about the birth certificate then? You're just trying to be the hero, riding in there on your white horse saying, I'm going to rescue you, Abby, I'm going to make sure that you can keep your baby. And he says, look, I was just trying to keep Alfie out of care. He's my son. I want to do anything for him. And she says, look, I'm never going to be able to trust you again. And thanks to you, we are never going to have Elsie. What Elsie? I want Elsie to stay. How can we make Elsie stay in this programme?
Well... carry on.
Abby, so Kevin storms into the garage, tells Tyrone what's going on, and then Toyah turns up at the bistro. Oh, this was so sad. I know, she's there having a bit of a cry.
Nick's there angrily cleaning tables because...
You've just been playing chess.
Chess how dare him.
So,
and then she comes and puts everything into perspective for him.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
I don't know, I don't think...
Nick just kind of sneaks out.
Of having things in perspective.
You'd have thought that when you get buried up to your neck in quicksand, it might make you...
Well, it hasn't, has it?
Anyway, she's talking to Leanne about it, which I was very glad that those two had a scene together. Hopefully we'll get a few more Battersby Sister scenes out of this story now, because she hasn't got very many other confidants at the moment, has she?
No.
Like many a soap character, you only make friends with somebody who turns out to be going to be secretly your enemy, and then when you lose them, who have you got left? Nobody. You can't even be friends with Fizz because she's moving house next week. Anyway, so they're talking about this, about the situation, and already Toyah is regretting opening her mouth about it, because she said, look, I had Elsie within my grasp and now I've lost her. And Leanne says, look, I know it's not going to feel like that at the moment, but you've done the right thing.
Well, they were saying, like, She's saying I should have just lied.
Yeah.
I only had to lie for a little bit.
Yeah.
But she can't do it.
She can't do it. She's just too honest with that Toyah. Yeah. Apart from the whole, she's kept quite a few secrets in the past.
Don't talk about
Dr. Ali and the drugs and
don't talk about stealing babies and
yeah, exactly. Abby finds Imran found drowning his sorrows in the pub later, and she's like, Imran, watch out! I think Kevin knows. A little bit late there, Abby. Kevin comes stomping in there saying, "Hey, Imran, you just like to play the good guy. You're just a massive liar. You like to lord it over the little guy."
He's like, Imran, your bloody red pants turned mine pink. I'm never going to forgive you for this. Do I look like the sort of man who wears pink pants?
He doesn't stay there long, does he? He kind of storms out, although he does come back not long later because we see him there with a pint later on. Anyway, he says, look, just don't screw Alfie up.
He
and he
storms out for effect and then he waits for him to leave and comes back.
Anyway, I wanted a pint.
Yeah.
So Abby tries to apologise to him later and says, look, I do love you, Kevin. This is what I do to people I love. Isn't that proof? But she basically says, look, you're better off without me, to be honest. End of the episode, we have Imran coming home. Toyah is still fuming.
I don't think she's fuming.
Well, no,
she's beyond that.
Beyond fuming? What's that? Apoplectic. She's just empty inside now, isn't she? She's her life has been turned upside down. She can't talk to Imran right now and sends him off to read Elsie a bedtime story. And then the last scene of the episode, we have Toyah having a little cry by the princess castle because this was going to be her happy ever after, wasn't it?
She was going to live in the castle and she just realised that she's too big.
Yeah. So she's
never going to be a Polly in my pocket.
Puts a little princess doll in the castle as a cry as Imran reads his bedtime story to Elsie in the next door room. Which on Wednesday's episode when I said, Imran, don't phone up Abby in the lounge because Toyah will hear you in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Just proof because you could hear both of them loud and clear reading that bedtime story. Anyway, that's how it ends. Toyah being very sad. Life is over.
Toyah's crying because she's tried so hard to protect Elsie from gender stereotypes, and then
oh yeah, they said that, didn't they?
He's reading her a story about how a princess has a happy ever after.
Oh, Toyah, you had it so close because this has been Toyah's journey, hasn't it? Ever since she came back 5 years or so ago.
Really has.
Like the quest for a baby, first with Peter. And now with Imran and well there was baby Susie as well.
Well, there was the baby at Christmas.
Yes, baby Mason.
Baby Mustard, Coleman's Mustard.
And is there any chance, do you think, that she could keep Elsie?
I don't know, I'm wondering this. I'm wondering if the lady's going to be like... I don't know
how these things work.
Oh, we don't care, just have her.
No, who else would want this little urchin?
She started talking now. You know,
you can't shut her up.
It's like people don't like a chatty. Chatty women. People don't like it. So we're gonna have to just get rid of her. You can have her.
Oh, it does make me wonder. Like, even though this is all out, is there a chance that Imran and Toyah will decide to? I don't know. I don't think Toyah could forgive Imran now, but can they put on an act to try and convince the foster people to let her keep them? It's too late. Oh, but I want Elsie to stay in the show. I think she's lovely. Isn't she the cutest little thing?
She is very adorable.
Do you think there's going to be a sad scene, isn't there, where they have to say goodbye to her? Do you think they? I don't know whether
put all of her stuff in a little suitcase and put a little duffel coat on her and leave her at the station like Paddington Bear.
Yes. I bet they'll have some scenes with them sadly tidying up all their stuff. Do you think they'll? I don't know whether they'll do it. Have the scene where they reveal to Elsie or tell Elsie, sorry, you got to go to live with somebody else now. I don't know whether the little kid that plays Elsie would be able to react well enough to that. But at least we're spared that.
What did you think about the fact that we didn't get to see Toyah find out?
I didn't.
I felt a bit cheated.
You didn't like that, did you?
I felt a bit cheated. They obviously did it because they wanted a dramatic confrontation where we didn't know that she knew.
And I did enjoy that part of it.
Yeah, but I do feel as though we've been waiting for her to find out. Like, she's the only person that we care about finding out, I think, because she's the most important.
Yeah, she's the one who's been cheated on.
And you know, you know that Georgia Taylor could have done a fantastic performance of like the shock and horror of realising what had happened.
Also, I would worry that they do the whole thing of like they did with Imran the other week, where they would sort of be zooming in on Toyah, and then it'd be the kind of noise.
You just scared the cat.
Sorry, cat. So you just there.
Probably freaked everyone out listening on headphones.
So I don't mind that we didn't get that, because it's not like we didn't get fantastic performances from all the main players throughout the rest of the episode, and there is more to come, I'm sure.
It was pretty. It's difficult because it was like the words you used to describe it. It's like it was really cool or really good or whatever, but it was horrific, really, to like watch that scene and gradually realise like, oh crap, she knows.
Yeah.
What's she gonna do? I know.
I wonder whether it would have been even better if we hadn't seen Kevin getting the envelope or something like that. Could they have? Well, I just wonder whether. No, I mean they could have rejigged the scenes a little bit. So
that would have been too mysterious for lots of people.
No, but I'm just trying to think. Like if Kevin had sent Abby into the kitchen to make his tea, then we could have had the scene with Toyah, you know, gradually revealing, you're a liar, not but you know,
you liar.
Then they could have cut to Abby coming out of the kitchen again with Toyah talking over it, Abby seeing the paperwork there, and then cut to Kevin with the phone. I think because as we were watching
I didn't like the bit where we cut to Kevin. It's like nobody was sitting there going, but how could she possibly have found out? Only Kevin knows, and he can't work a phone.
I didn't mind that, to be honest. I didn't mind. Yeah, but you're right. You probably did have to ask.
It's like we know.
Tim, how do you send a picture message?
You can bloody work it out. We didn't need the dots connecting that much.
No, I don't know. I quite liked how it was, but yeah, just very, very surprised how soon it came.
I know. I'm really.
Did you go into today's episode?
No.
It was brilliant.
It's all come out so quickly.
Yeah, and the best thing was
bloody hell,
the best thing was how
it
happened halfway through the episode, so we got to see the fallout rather than wait for the whole weekend. So good. Do you think that Toyah did the right thing, or should she have just kept it quiet?
This is a soap, so everybody's doing the worst possible thing, aren't they? For their nothing's gonna run smoothly. So, you know, why on earth did Imran defend Abby, even though he actually should not have done that, because now he stitched himself up? He can't be
yeah, so is he going to get disbarred now?
Surely he's going to have his licence taken off him, and he's going to be like Todd, you know.
Yeah,
there's going to be so many lawyers on that street who can't practice law anymore.
yeah
I mean, two's quite a lot, really. Yeah. For a back street in Salford. Sorry, Weatherfield. Yeah, so he's stupid for doing that. Then he's stupid for putting his bloody name on the certificate, because if he was going to do that, he should have done it to start with and then got Elliot. It's so annoying. I know it's part of the plot, but really you would think that he'd be smarter than this. Why does he put his bloody name on it? You can put your name on... I think you can add your name as a dad.
Yeah, but he put his name on it to try and secure Elsie, and like as a bit of a backup. Like if
secure Elsie,
no, it's not Elsie. Secure Alfie. So like if Abby was going to lose her, then at least, because one of the things the judge said was, "Well, we don't know who the father is," so he thought the case would be better for him if his name was on the certificate.
No, yeah, exactly. But now he's stupid, isn't he?
Oh.
And like, really, why does he need Elliot now? He doesn't really, because he could just say, "Oh, it's my kid. I'll have him."
Do
you know? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Like, it's baffling. And then Toyah could not shut her mouth for half an hour and just be like, la 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 la. Like, she didn't even have to say anything, did she? She could have just not said anything and waited to see if they could have Elsie adopted. Because once I don't understand what this meeting was for. I don't know if at the end of it the woman's like, well, you haven't outed yourself as maniacs, so here's a bit
that's
of
what
paper.
I was thinking. It didn't feel like they were going into that meeting and they would be told at the end of it, she's yours now for the rest of your lives. It just felt like a meeting to discuss the options.
Yeah, like, do you actually want to go ahead with this or not?
Yeah, so
But then Toyah said, like, I could have, that was it. I could have just had her, and then I didn't. I messed it up.
I think that Toyah realised she would have had to have kept lying about it, or kept it from Imran that she knows the truth for a lot longer. I think if she had only had to held out for half an hour or so, maybe she could have done. But yeah, she knew that it was going to be longer than that. And maybe it's because she knows that she doesn't want to be a single mum to Elsie, and she is just thinking of what's best for her. And that's what she wants. What's best for this little kid, and
it's but is what is best for her to like be abandoned again?
Well, I don't know. I think also Toyah, another reason that she blurted it out was just because she realises how naive she's been for so long. Like, she has been blindly stumbling through these past months on Coronation Street, hasn't she? Just thinking everything's fine, I live in a perfect family bliss. Although, that's not completely true, because she did know that Imran had cheated on her.
Yeah, she knew that. Thought it was a random drug addled strumpet, not a specific one.
Yes.
Not a grieving drug addict.
Well, she'd given him the benefit of the doubt, and she, 6 months ago, she was ready to call it a day on the relationship then, wasn't she? But she said she let him convince her to give it another chance, and now she just feels utterly stupid that she's been completely blind about it. So, I don't blame her for bubbling over a little bit. Do you think that did Kevin do the right thing as well? Kevin was right here.
He snooped. He shouldn't have snooped, but then he thought she was on drugs again. I don't know.
Yeah, he did. He was just
checking.
I
know. I'm just saying.
He didn't realise, I don't think, that Toyah and Imran were at a adoption hearing or adoption meeting, fostering or whatever it was. No, it doesn't. But it's not like he tried to. He
wasn't trying to ruin their lives.
To sabotage. No, exactly.
Well, he does. He probably feels bad for Toyah.
Yeah, Mike Lavelle was great again this week, wasn't he?
Everyone was fantastic. Obviously, I mean, kind of it becomes redundant to say, doesn't it? Like, how great everybody in this, like, what great performance they've got for these scenes.
I loved it.
Like, we like the actors anyway, but they're really fantastic at delivering scene after scene after scene with these really powerful emotions.
Performances were gut wrenching towards the end, I thought.
Georgia.
Yeah.
I thought it was George.
Georgia. Yeah. And she's not had much of a chance to do that for a while, has she? She's just. I think she's been quite a background character in this story, and she's just been like popping into the hospital, going, "Hello, everything okay? Oh, Imran, you're so lovely." Oh, she hasn't had to do any massive heavy drama like this for a long time, or not very much of it anyway. So yeah, it was fantastic being able to get her to give her a chance to show off her acting chops today. Imran or Charlie's performance was brilliant. I loved his little court scenes earlier in the week as well. But it's just so sad that the relationship is over now. Oh, they had such a lovely little family unit, and like, there, didn't they? We knew it was coming.
Of all the times to like break up during a bloody adoption hearing. What, you pair of muppets. Imran, you ruined everything. Oh my god, dig a hole and die in it.
What do you think's going to happen to them next then? So Imran's
what is going to like the adoption lady was like, look, it's Friday afternoon, it's 5:00, I can't be dealing with this. Lock the room when you're done, I'll see you on Monday. Like, what they, is she going to be on Monday? She's going to be like, right, have you sorted it out or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, Toyah didn't throw Imran out on Friday's episode.
Well, no, they're still living there together, which is weird because they had to stay together. Like, originally, she found out he'd had an affair, he'd slept with somebody else, and she was like, we'll have to stay together until Elsie leaves. Yeah. Then she, over the few months, she's gradually kind of like forgiven him and thought that they could be happy together and that everything will be fine. And And then she's like come around to the idea that now that they can adopt Elsie, they're going to stay together, and she kind of accepted it. And now, I forgot. I've lost my train of thought.
I wonder whether this is, in a way, is this the best thing? And if the only reason that Toyah agreed to take Imran back is because
she genuinely, like, the glances that she's been giving him is like, I can forgive you. Yeah. It'll be all right in the end. I'm kind of getting everything that I want, really. And we said no more secrets, so I trust him completely.
Were you hoping for a little bit more fireworks and, throwing the plastic bin bag with all his posh suits out the window?
I don't think that's a Toyah and Imran kind of reaction. Although maybe on Monday.
I hope that we are going to see a little bit more. I'm sure we will, but if she's gonna have to throw him out. Is he going to go and doss down with Abby or something? Because he hasn't got anywhere else to stay. I mean, I suppose he could try and crash at...
stay with me.
I suppose he could try and crash at...
Kevin's.
I don't think so.
You could show him how to use the washing machine.
I was going to say Adam and Sarah's, possibly.
Oh my god, yeah, that would be quite funny.
Yeah, I don't think Sarah's going to be quite so accepting of an actual real-life cheat in her house.
The question is about Imran is like, is he actually a good bloke? Or is he not?
Exactly, this is the thing, isn't it? Because there are a couple of characters today saying you think that you're a good guy and you act like you're the moral high ground and everything, but actually you're just lying scum. And
like the facade that he puts on of this like caring guy, is that just fake?
No, I don't think it is.
But at the end of the day, though, yeah.
I think he is a genuinely good guy, and I still really like Imran despite all of this. But he's somebody who does stupid things.
But he's got a form for this, though.
He has. I mean,
he cheated on his wife, and that's why they got divorced.
Yeah, when he got together with Toyah, he was doubling up with Leanne at the same time as well. He's got many good qualities, like, but
when all that stuff was coming out about how they actually got a hotel together and stuff, I was thinking this is even worse than you would think it was, because it was so premeditated.
Yeah, I think Imran's problem is he thinks that he's a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. I do. That's what I think. I think he's fooled himself, and he excuses every single thing that he does with like, oh well, I couldn't help that because blah blah blah. I couldn't help this because blah blah blah. Like, really, if he really cared about Toyah and Elsie, he would not have put his name on that certificate, because he knows he's the father. It's not a question. He knows. At any point he could demand a paternity test and have his name put on there. It doesn't really matter. Like, having his name on there now versus tomorrow, but he should have kept his eyes on the prize. Let Elliot do his thing.
Yeah.
Then the kind of come in with the trump card if he needed to, but he just played all of his cards at once, like he's playing Snap or something, and he's not. He's playing poker, and he's just failed completely.
He has. I'm really looking forward to seeing them in a sick sort of way.
Yeah. Where will we pick up?
I don't know.
Are they just going to cohabit in like a really angry, like really angry middle class failed marriage, stay together for the kids,
there doesn't
smash
seem to be
my
any
boiled
point
egg
now,
while I'm reading The Guardian kind of a way.
Well, Toyah's already decided we've lost Elsie now, so there's no point in Imran staying around there, is there? Although, apart from to not break Elsie's heart quite so soon.
Because he reads her bedtime stories.
Yeah. And also, like, what's Leanne gonna do? If Toyah
should go around there with an ice pick and give him a
Toyah is distraught and she's not going full on Battersby, then I hope that Leanne will go and tear him a new one.
I want the Battersby sisters to unite and bring out their inner trash demons and go round there and just ruin him. Just like cut holes in all of his trousers.
Oh, he's not going to come out of this well, and it is such a shame because I do really like the character, but
he's such a dirty dog. Stick him in the washing machine. See if he survives.
He does deserve everything that he's got coming to him, and maybe it'll make him realise that just because you act like you're the goodie, that doesn't mean you necessarily are.
Well, yeah. I mean, isn't it kind of like an exercise in self-delusion? And doesn't it make you look at yourself and think, "Am I really an Imran? I think
lots of people think that they're they're the good guy, but they know
well,
that
you are.
do.
You're the main. This is the thing, isn't it? You're the hero of your own story, and everyone else is the villain. But really, we're all just trying to get along.
Yeah.
The only thing about this story that I wish we got to see is Toyah's reaction. I know they're not going to do this, but I could really do with like a flashback next week where we see Toyah finding out. I just think that's a missed opportunity, and I know that George Taylor would have done a fantastic job. But I do get the feeling there might be more.
I think there is more to come here.
Opportunities for angst and sadness.
Yeah.
But can my heart cope? I don't know.
Do you think that there's any possibility that Imran and Abby will decide, look, we've both been kicked to the curb by our respective partners, let's try and raise this baby together? It doesn't
well, you
feel...
said this last week. You're like,
did I?
Why are you... It's not blimmin' a 1960s sitcom.
If I can't have Imran and Toyah, at least Imran and Abby, two other characters that I like, maybe. But I don't think that they're each other's sort, are they? They would not get on with each other. No, I don't think they're each other's
Can you imagine Abby watching blimmin' University Challenge with Imran? I kind of can. I can imagine her getting some answers right and him getting annoyed and turning it over.
The other question is whether Kevin's going to take Abby back, because...
No, he's done with her.
She was still saying that she loved him and everything, but he has got to think of Jack, hasn't he? And I think the judge was probably right when she ruled that Abby shouldn't have the baby. As much as I would love to see Abby take the baby, and to be honest, I still think she is going to end up with him.
I think she is.
I think absolutely she's going to be raising that kid, and I would hope that she would do a good job. And when Abby's saying, I will do anything for you, I'm not going to screw up again, I do believe her. But in my back of my head, I'm thinking, she's in a soap, and the storyliners would probably quite like to have her not do that. It'd be a shame. What I'd like to see more than anything is for her to prove that she can be a great mum, because I do think that she's got the potential, but I'm a massive Abby apologist, as you know. But no, I don't think that the script writers would be able to resist the temptation to have her screw up again.
The difference now from where she was before, when she had the twins, is that she's got a support system, and she never had that before. She's got people that will actually help her with the baby if she needs it.
She has, but she reacts to things badly and quickly. She doesn't gradually spiral downwards. If something starts to look like it's going wrong, it's like bam, out come the drugs or whatever. Even
when Toyah was like, oh, sorry, Abby, Imran's taking a step back from your case. She's like, fine, whatever, I don't even care, bye. Yeah,
exactly.
I relate to that. That's what I'm like. Yeah. Right, fine, screw you, bye, see you later.
You absolutely are. Great stuff. Tragic and sad, and I didn't want this day to ever come. But
it is like...
At least I didn't end the episode thinking, oh, that was done in a really boring way. I really did enjoy watching it. I did.
I did feel a bit like I'm watching somebody steamroll a kitten.
Yeah. I'm very sad that we're not going to get any more of the scenes of family bliss. Again, even though in the back of my head I'm thinking, oh, but... It's
not fair. There's nobody left.
No.
The only two people left on the street who are happily married or together is bloody Tim and Sally. They won't stop shagging each other.
Oh, what about Ed and Aggie?
Yeah, I guess so.
But I just think that Imran and Elsie are so cute together. That stuff that he was doing today when he was sticking his tongue out at her and everything. So bloody cute.
Disgusting.
Oh,
illegal.
Gosh. Okay, Gemma, let's move on to the next story, the Rick and Mortis story. Poor old Laura, she's not doing so well, is she?
Yeah.
Over to you.
You do it.
Me? It's your turn. I'll do it.
You do it.
You still feel... Oh, okay. So, Monday, early morning panicking for Gary and Maria. This is following up from the surprise confession at the end of last week's episode where Laura's like, yeah, 'twas I that killed Rick Nealon. And they're like, oh, what are we going to do now? Kelly's utterly baffled by this. And she's like, oh, Gary, what was it that you wanted to tell me yesterday? Did you know about my dad? And Gary's like, Laura told me that there was some big news that was incoming, and we just assumed it was something that was bad about her cancer. We weren't expecting this, honestly. But anyway, I'm going to go down to the police station, find out what's happening, and Kelly says, I'm going to come down too. So, at the police station, we get DS Beckett returned. Hurrah! We haven't seen her since...
Wasn't she last week?
Was she? No, I don't think so. I thought that this was... Or maybe at the very end of it. I can't remember, but...
Well, she was originally investigating...
She was investigating the underworld roof collapse, wasn't she? So she hasn't been... Even if she wasn't last week, I can't remember. She wasn't... Yeah, this is the first time we've seen her since 2019.
I've got an unsolved case on my desk, and I'm going to pin it on the next person to walk in through the door.
So I think that she's had Gary... He's been the one that got away for 3 years for DS Beckett. And when Laura's there in the interview room saying it was me, she's like, I don't think I believe you, actually. We know exactly who's responsible for Rick Neelan's disappearance. Gary Windass. Now, what has he done to you to make you take the blame for him? Meanwhile, we've got...
Gave you cancer.
We got Kelly and Gary showing up at the front desk there saying, what's going on with my mum? And the desk sergeant's there like saying, oh, sorry, I can't tell you. And Gary has to kind of prise her away to get back home. Meanwhile, Laura's doing her best to avoid the tough questions that are being asked. As I said on the podcast last week, she doesn't know enough about the moment of Rick's death to be able to tell a convincing recount about what exactly happened. So she's kind of, avoiding those questions and says, oh, well, look, all that happened, Rick asked to meet me in the woods. He dug a grave for me, came at me with a shovel. And Beckett's like, nope, I do not believe you. Gary gets back to the flat later. Maria's kind of weirded out by how calm he's being about all this. Kelly, meanwhile, is raiding the place for any kind of clue that she might find to prove her mum's innocence. I don't know what she's expecting to find particularly. And then she realises, hang on a minute, why did she even employ this private investigator the other week? If she'd killed Rick, would she be doing this? Because she could just find that he ends up spiralling around and pointing the finger at her. That'd be too risky. Gary's right, you're right, I'm going to phone him up, see what's going on with this. So then Kelly gets a news alert from the Gazette on her phone. And we get to see...
Why has Kelly got the Gazette, a news alert on the Gazette?
She likes to keep up with the local goings-on in environment and stuff.
The bypass has been rejected. Boop, boop. New play area set up in Bezzy Street. Boop, boop. Residents reject speed bump initiative. Boop boop. What are the top 5 places to get a hot pot in Weatherfield? Number 5 will shock you.
Well, stop it. We say what as you want. So this was saying that they've stopped development on the training ground, and things are happening very fast here as well, aren't they? Never mind the Toyah and Imran story, but like it was. Wednesday, maybe they started building there, and by Monday this week they've already had to halt work on it.
Well, that's probably why they got started quick. They're like, oh no, this is dodgy, right? We're involved in the story. There's cameras everywhere. Go really fast because this could go wrong. I've seen it happen before.
So we see this close-up of the Gazette article that, though only being about 3 sentences long, had 2 spelling mistakes in it, I noticed. But anyway, they've stopped the development on the training ground so the police can search for a body. And we see there's this great tracking shot of Beckett striding up to the building works, isn't there?
I know. I want a spin-off. DS Beckett investigates.
Yeah, I need a spin-off with Beckett, Fringe McBangs.
Yeah.
What's her face?
Yeah, what's her face?
What's her name? The other one, the
You're
great
asking
one.
me. I don't know. I know who you mean. Everyone's screaming.
A resting bitch face.
Everyone's screaming at us.
God, I can't remember what her name is. That's really bad. Anyway.
I'm sorry. I failed everyone.
So no, see, she kind of turns up at the building site, and there's these kids there going, oh, what they're looking for, and one of them goes, oh, it's Tommy Orpington's career. Great. I was hoping to see a little bit more of the investigating there, but we didn't. There's literally that was the only scene that they had. I want to see the moment that
a grim bit of black plastic poking out of the ground. They really missed a trick. That would have only, I don't know. Maybe they filmed it and then they realised that they used the wrong tape and it said dress set do not enter instead of crime scene.
DS McKinnon.
That's
the one I was thinking of.
How did that come to you?
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I wanted to see them find.
Just imagine DS Beckett investigates with. What was it? DS McKinnon and Fringe McBangs. What is this?
How many sergeants does one police station need?
I don't even know what a DS sergeant. What is that? DS sergeant.
Second from bottom, but
Deputy
still kind
sergeant?
of important. No,
DS.
detective sergeant. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, they should have shown the moment the body was found, but they didn't. Kelly, meanwhile, back at the flat is saying, look, Gary, could you actually kill someone? And he says, I wish I could say no, but sometimes anybody could be driven to anything. He kind of...
Well, it's like, look, are you asking me if this philosophically, right? Yeah, anyone could kill anybody. But if you're asking me specifically about a specific murder, I'm going to always say no.
Also, I was in the army and somebody's personal bodyguard
never
once
ask
in Ukraine.
somebody
So
if they've been in the army. If
probably
they've killed
could. Probably could.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the first thing they asked him when he went into the recruiting office.
Could you kill somebody?
No, I couldn't.
No.
Don't think so.
Anyway, so he falls short of admitting that he actually did it, of course. So then we see Beckett returning to the interview room with Laura there, and it looks like they have indeed found a body. So Gary, meanwhile, is telling Maria that they can't let Kelly live the rest of her life thinking that her mum killed her dad. That's kind of harsh, isn't it? But before they can kind of investigate that little alley for much longer, the police arrive.
Kind of biblical and cool.
What is?
Like, oh, my mum killed my dad.
So cool.
My dad was... Well, you know what I mean? It's like a great backstory for a soap character.
Oh, yeah, God, totally is, yeah.
And also, I didn't kick anyone to death. I like the way she's asking him, oh, could you kill someone? I don't know, you ask yourself, look in the mirror.
Yeah. Could you laugh while somebody was being killed?
Yeah.
I could. Just all I'm saying.
Sometimes,
go on, Gary,
you know what? You laugh at the really weirdest moments sometimes, don't you?
So, we find out then that Rick's body has been recovered this afternoon. Laura has been charged with it because just her saying where the body is seems like it's evidence enough for them to believe her. I didn't realise how easy it was to have people think you're a murderer. If only I wanted somebody to think I was a murderer, I'd be confessing to them all the time. Anyway.
You just want to get out of work.
That would be good. Case is over. Case concluded. Laura's been transferred to a hospital because she's taken a turn for the worse. Kelly is absolutely gutted and wants to go to the hospital straight away to see Laura one last time. Although not talk to her, it seems, because, well, Kelly's saying... Well, she says, what happened? Tell me what's going on. Laura says, oh, look, me and your dad were fighting over money. I was trying to defend myself. I never wanted to kill him, but one of us was going to end up dead here. And she said, look, you deserve to know the truth about this. Couldn't let you lead your life thinking that your dad can come back any moment. Hide the PI because I really wanted you to get the money that you deserved. But you know what? Gary and Mireille have been better parents to you, sorry, not to me. Oh, they've probably been washing their pants as well. Better parents to you for these past few months than I ever have. Never mind that Imran and Toyah, who seem to have been completely erased from Kelly's life by this point. And when I'm gone, Kelly, you're going to have them. If this is the last conversation we're going to have, I want you to know that I wish I tried harder for you.
She's just crying, isn't she? She's in tears.
She is utterly...
Fantastic.
She is
Where's it come
beside herself. She is a sobbing, blubbery mess, Laura
Weatherfield
Nealon,
Waterworks
by the
Award,
end of this.
she's going to get one.
Absolutely. See, although we saw kind of bits of tears from Toyah at the end of today's episode, I think that Laura did outcry her this week.
If you're collecting tears from these two, you know, you might get enough to wet your whistle off Toyah, but you know, Laura's giving you enough to wash with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wash Kevin's pants in it easily.
So Kelly goes to leave at this point, and Laura's like, "Oh, I just love you, Kelly." And Kelly just nods and leaves. She's like, "I've heard what I came to hear. You are dead to me now."
Well, you know, it's a matter of time.
It is. It's coming soon because we didn't get to have this story in today's episode, did we? So that's got to be coming soon. So anyway, Gary tells Laura, this isn't fair on anyone. You're taking the blame for something that I did. He's feeling mega guilty at this point. Laura says, look, it's better than you going to prison, Kelly not having anyone left to look after her. She's flipping nearly 18 at this point, surely, isn't she? Anyway, you're just going to have to live with this guilt, Gary. It's going to be your cross to bear.
You're saying this as a man who frequently asked me to get my dad to help you.
Put up shelves. She's streetwise. I'm not.
How Laura is being very frank with him, and she's kind of getting revenge a little bit here because she's been forced into this by Gary's confession to, you know, save her daughter. But she's saying, like, you're going to feel guilty about this for the rest of your life. I hope you know that.
Yeah.
I loved that.
She's taken the rap for him, but...
She's become so wise in the last few months.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, she's had a mega character growth.
Amazing.
Just at the last hurdle. So she says, look, whatever dodginess you got up to in the past that's got you mixed up with my husband, that needs to stop now. You need to be a proper guardian / parent to my Kelly now. You need to be a better person.
Well, it's not going to work, is it? Because Gary's he's got a kid already, isn't he?
Exactly. He goes...
What's his kid called with the old Nicky
Rubenstein. Zach. He's got his Zach, hasn't he?
He's got Zach.
Yeah.
So, if that didn't turn him round, nothing else would. And he's also supposed to be looking after Liam.
Oh, yeah, Liam.
You know.
Yeah.
He's got all these, and also...
He's got a flipping million dependents.
Who's the other one with Izzy?
Jake.
Is he related to him?
Yeah. He's...
Bloody hell, he's got a flock of kids.
He has, hasn't he? He can make his own... Just give it a few years and he can set up his own loan shark business again and have all his kids doing the dirty work for him.
Yeah. He's got enough to, like, make it difficult to buy a car to fit him in.
He gets home anyway. The mood in the flat is kind of low and Gary says, look, maybe we should just watch a film or something, because this is a nice little callback to earlier in the episode, wasn't it? Because Maria had suggested they watch this film with whoever on, and he's like, no, we can't just try to take our minds off what's happening. But after everything that's gone on during the day, he's like, we need to just take our minds off this. So that's how Monday's
and then they watched Midsummer.
Wednesday, Gary and Maria just do not know what to do with themselves. Gary's determined, though, to get a Kelly-Laura makeup session. Not makeup.
Well, they already did that last week, didn't they?
Yes. Gary tries to persuade Kelly to go and see her mum, and this is where Sarah Lou gets involved, which is the other thing we'd mentioned in last week's podcast, because she obviously knows the truth about the fact that Gary was the one who killed Rick. So very, very handily and coincidentally, for storyline purposes, she overhears Kelly saying that Laura killed Rick. Says Sarah. And Kelly says, look, well, I just regret not leaving Laura to die because she's dead to me.
Horrible.
Gary...
See, Sarah Louise needs to get herself one of these Gazette beep beep things on her phone, because I'm sure
that's true. The
paper would say, body found at training ground, woman arrested.
Yeah, you'd have thought that would be fairly big news, and like it's because we haven't got Norris to spread the gossip anymore, isn't it?
Norris would be furious with Imran.
Who is the gossip spreader? We haven't got.
Who's the muckraker of Weatherfield?
It's kind of usually Mary, maybe Audrey, but I don't know what's going on with Audrey at the moment. I think she's. What is happening with that Audrey storyline? This is the longest, most drawn out.
Crazy.
What is she going blind, or was she going forgetful? I don't
becoming
remember.
An alcoholic.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
They gave her too many things at once and she's just overloaded.
Right, so Gary goes to the hospital. Laura's getting ready to be taken to court. She's like, I don't need your help, thank you very much. I'm not doing this for you. I don't care what guilt you have to live with either, as long as you look after Kelly and give her a good life. So that's the last we see of Laura. It was court that she was going to, wasn't it? I was wondering whether there'd be some kind of crossover with the court hearing stuff with Abby and Imran that was going on that day, but no.
Well, what kind of crossover would there be in a family court versus criminal court?
Well, I'm just saying they might cross paths, and Imran and Gary's backstories are still very much intertwined, thanks to Kelly, thanks to the roof drama and everything. So
yeah, I think at this point, if like Gary came up to Imran and he was like, oh, you know, all that stuff about your sister and all that, I think Imran would just be like, I cannot deal with this now.
See, doesn't Imran think that Rick Neelan was the one who sabotaged the roof at the moment? Is that's what everyone's been led to believe, isn't it? And yet, despite the supposed murderer of his sister, despite his body being uncovered at the local football ground, Imran doesn't seem to have batted an eyelid at that.
He's got other things to worry about.
Yeah,
and he doesn't have Toyah to go, oh, I'm so sorry. Do you want me to make you a cup of tea and a vegetable lasagna? I bet he's not going to ever taste that vegetable lasagna again.
He will never again get to taste the delights of Toyah's veggie lasagna.
what is going to happen? Is that the last we've heard of it? We made fun of the vegetable lasagna when it was around, but now I'm going to miss it, you know?
Yeah, I know, you will. Gary catches Kelly outside the shop later and she's like, nope, still not interested in what's going on with my mum. Then Sarah comes over and says, right, what's this going on about Rick Nealon then? Because we both know that you're the one that killed him. And Gary explains the situation and Sarah's like, this is totally messed up.
Yeah.
I can't believe what I'm hearing here. So then he goes back to Maria and says,
forget, like, I wish you could go in a little booth and just say, can you just delete the last 20 minutes, please?
He goes back home and says that he's going to hand himself in, and Maria says, do not do that. We're all that Kelly's got at the moment. You can't throw it all away. You're going to destroy this family, and no good can come of you confessing. Yeah, we don't know whether he does or not, because that's the last we saw of it this week.
He's getting really angsty and, like, you know, pacing around and full of anguish.
Well, he's had this weight on his shoulders. He's had this secret for nearly 3 years now. So it's no wonder that he's somewhat fraught about it. And maybe he thinks that if I confess, this will all be over. It'll be a weight off my back. So I don't blame him. But do you think he actually will?
Confess?
Should he?
I don't know what's going to happen. Like, what's going to happen?
I will be extremely unsatisfied as a viewer if Laura takes this secret to her grave, which I think she probably will. Because I need Gary to be found out about this, and I still think that he will. I don't think that he's going to evade justice forever, but just having...
Go on.
I'll just say, just having Laura die with it by saying it's her that did it, that's just gonna say, and now we can park the Rick Nealon mystery for a little bit longer. And I'm like, no, this needs to come out. This has been a story that's been drip fed to us over the past 3 years. Just rip the plaster off. Let's maybe conclude this, please.
Maybe Gary will confess at Laura's grave while they're having the funeral.
Oh, maybe
the vicar will be like, and although in her final days Laura confessed to the murder of her husband, perhaps they are united in heaven together now. And even though she was a despicable murderer, maybe she did have brilliant hair. And then Gary can be like, stop, I can't let you besmirch this good woman's name. She was crap right up until the last few weeks, but then she become really nice, just like Kelly. And I can't let anybody speak ill of her because 'twas me what done it. And then DS Beckett is like, sorry, I've done the paperwork, I'm not doing it again. Case closed, I put a stamp on it, I've got this stamp, I bought it, I've not been able to do this before. Don't take this away from me. How many cases do you think we get to close at Weatherfield police station? None. We don't even know where that crutch come from.
It is interesting how they did pin it on Laura straight away, because Beckett had been utterly convinced that it was Gary. Does she actually believe that it was Laura, or does she kind of just have to say, well, I suppose we better charge you with it now, as you know? Yeah. But in the back of her mind, she's thinking, oh, but it was Gary. So I wonder whether she's still going to be snooping around and investigating him and watching him very closely. Is she going to turn up to... Because, yeah, this body has been recovered now, so I'm guessing that they're going to have some kind of funeral and proper burial of it. Is she going to be...
Rick.
Of Rick. And then soon to be followed by Laura. Are they just going to share a grave or something? I don't know.
Oh, my God.
So it's like, I can imagine Beckett there just watching Gary and seeing his reaction. She wants to catch him out. And I hope that this does... That the reason... It can't be a coincidence that they've brought her back. I think that she's going to join the dots about the factory roof, and it's all going to come out in spectacular fashion. If Britain's Got Talent is going ahead this year, then we've
run out of talent.
We've got 2 months, I guess, ish, until Britain's Got Talent week, and that could be a good time for it all to come out. I hope. What do you think? is this going to be it? Have we finally reached a conclusion? Is Mikey North's finally going to be leaving Coronation Street?
I'm just wondering whether this all is just going to end in like a massive, like, literal cop-out where the police are like, you know what, you're a good man all deep inside, and that girl, Kelly, you know, when I saw her in court for kicking that lad, I knew there was something good inside. I just can't take you down for this, Gary. Everyone knows it was Laura. I'm just going to leave it at that.
You can't get away with it. I was thinking the other day that it was funny how I'm determined that Gary needs to go down for this, but I'm not as... I don't feel the same way about Sarah and Callum. Not that Sarah was the one who did it, but I don't think that it's going to come out that she was involved in the cover-up or David. The show's not going to throw them under the bus, is it?
No, it's too late now.
But they could do it with Gary. Unless they're going
to do like a special week, Revelation Street, where everybody just goes, yeah, it was me. And Audrey's like, I wasn't going to say anything, but on the way here I did actually run a man over because I couldn't see properly.
But at least they have got Sarah involved in it now. What's she going to do?
I don't know.
It felt like they had the couple of meetings between the two characters this week just to remind us that she knows, but so what now?
I know, but like, what could you, how right? Let's say you were Sarah. Could you actually stand by and watch a girl think her mum killed her dad and her mum's dying? I don't know. I would find it very difficult to keep my mouth shut.
It depends on whether she thinks that Gary would keep his mouth shut about her, because her hands are tied, aren't they, Sarah? If she reveals the truth about Gary, then Gary could say the same about her, and then she and David get in trouble. But as a viewer, I don't think that Sarah is gonna ever get caught for that, because
it's been too long.
Kylie was the one who killed Callum, and she's kind of paid the price ultimately. But no, people don't care about that, I don't think. But the other thing.
Although some people still salty about Tracy not doing enough time for Charlie Stubbs' murder, so...
Yeah, we could have Gary, Sarah and Tracy all form a little club together, couldn't they?
Well, maybe...
Got away with it, club.
Maybe Gary will, like... maybe Gary will confess, and then the police were like, oh, gosh darn it, we can't use this evidence because we didn't read you your rights, and also we dug up the Weathy County playing grounds without a proper permit.
I don't know.
And there was a great crested newt there, so we can't actually move the body.
Do you think, just finally before we move on, is Kelly going to make amends with her mum before she shuffles off this mortal coil?
Is there going to be... Is she gonna forgive her before she finds out that she didn't do it?
I think Laura is going to die with Kelly still thinking that she killed her dad.
Poor Laura.
But I'd like to think there'd be some kind of make-up chat. But it's more dramatic if there's not. So.
I tell you what though, Cal Allen is knocking it out of the park again this week.
She was fab. There were so many great performances across the board this week. I thought it was a very, very strong week.
The cast.
No.
So many amazing performances. It just bowls me away. And it's just so so sad. All the sad things that are happening.
Right, let's do the TIMTMI story. Do you want to do this one?
All
or do you want
right,
me to?
I'll do it because it's got sexy sausages in it.
Go on then.
Right, so Sally is feeding Tim sexy sausages. I don't know, as a man, can you weigh in on this? Is it erotic to eat a phallic object to you?
Not really.
Would you not find it a bit disturbing if I was like, hey, this reminds me of you, eat it?
That sounds a bit... Oh yeah, a bit emasculated. She said it was to get his energy up, but I think it might just sit in his stomach and make him feel a little bit bloated.
Yeah, bloated. What was it? Who was it? On Game of Thrones. Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, Theon Greyjoy and Ramsay Bolton.
Ramsay Bolton eating his sausages. That's what it reminds me of. So yeah, Sally's feeding Tim the supposedly erotic sausages that we've heard so much about. And she wants to get him all fired up for afternoon delight once he's back from the cardiologist. They're not going to the cardiologist, they're having a remote viewing. Remote viewing. They just psychically beamed into his office. The cardiologist on the laptop says, Tim, I'm very happy with your progress. And Tim's like, okay, great. So does that mean I can do physical exercise? And he's like, yeah, I don't see why not. And he's like, well, specific things I'm thinking of. And the cardiologist is like, what in particular? He's like, I don't know, ball games, sexy sausages. Sally just says, look, are we gonna shag?
She does. She just says, well, can we have sex?
Yeah, and the guy's like, yeah, why not? If you feel up to it, you can do whatever you like. And then they just close the laptop. The guy's like, doesn't log me off, I can hear you. Perhaps not right now, because we haven't given you all the information. Anyway, Elaine walks in on them. She's disgusted. Sally's losing patience because Elaine's just always butting in. Luckily, Kathy comes and invites Elaine around to the cinema. They're going to go see a mystery film. So Sally gets dressed up as a naughty nurse, but then she does an impression of an estate agent because he doesn't like the nurse thing, and I think Sally should have thought of that because he's just had an operation. Yeah. And I also think it's disrespectful to the NHS to impersonate a nurse for the purposes
after everything
of
they've
sexual
done for
pleasure.
us for the past 2 years.
Sally and Tim no doubt were standing on their doorstep every Thursday banging their pots, and I bet Sally was taking note of who was out and who wasn't and how loudly everyone was clapping. And then she disrespects the profession like this. Anyway, Elaine comes back because it was a waste of time, and because the film was Psycho and they couldn't get out of the cinema fast enough, and she was hoping it was going to be Terms of Endearment, which they only just watched the other week.
Yeah, they did. She's obsessed with that film.
Well, somebody is obsessed with the film. Sally tries to Sally's trying to sort of justify this by saying that we're allowed to, but Elaine doesn't want to hear about it. She goes out and she says, be very careful and go easy. So they finally get to reconsummate their love for one another. They come downstairs later and Tim's looking very upset. What happened?
Joe Duttine, he did a brilliant job on that scene, just looking absolutely embarrassed and gutted and miserable with himself.
Yeah.
He looked like it was
What
sad
a build
clown.
Up to nothing. You've written it was a bit of a flop.
It was a total flop.
Yeah. He says he's got the yips. I don't know what that is. He couldn't stop thinking about Psycho. Is he imagining his mum dead as a skeleton? I wonder. Sally wonders if they can try again. But he wants his sandwiches. So they can't. Over dinner, Sally's like, don't worry, you're not impotent. You're just incompetent. Even Pele has it. It'll be fine. And he says, it's not me, it's my mum. I need to get rid of her, and then I'll be like Rocket Man.
Like Elton John.
Like Elton John.
Not exactly like Elton John, though, too.
Elton John, the famously heterosexual married man. Who gives his wife a good scene too every Monday afternoon. On Wednesday, Gina's having a wobble again. Sally's got to go back for a few days. But she reckons that she can skive off work in the afternoon so they can have a nookie session. And she tells him to tell his mum that she needs to leave sooner rather than later. So Tim takes Elaine to the bistro to try and break this to her, and she seems very suspicious. But when they get back, Sally's there in her sexy trench coat with her hair all done, and Elaine and Tim walk through the door with a bunch of rolls of wallpaper because Tim's chickened out and offered to redecorate Elaine's bedroom for her. So Sally's pretty miffed, and she says, I'm going to tell Elaine myself to move out, but then she chickens out as well. And that's the end of that.
Yeah. That was all right, wasn't it, that story? I must confess, listeners, I wasn't necessarily listening to that because while I was talking about the first two stories, there's been lots of text messages going on my phone, and while Gemma was reading that out, I was catching up with about 100 missed messages. So yes, that was a very good retelling of the story, Gemma. Well done. Yeah. I can't. Not that it wasn't. This was a light-hearted filler to everything else that was going on with the Laura and Imran and Toyah story, wasn't it? It was all right. I don't know whether like you've said on Twitter and everything, I'm on the podcast as well. I'm not particularly I don't find it particularly exciting to hear about the sex lives of these two 50-year-olds, but there's no, I'm not saying they shouldn't be doing it. Just don't want to be hearing about it on my TV on 8 o'clock on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evening. Any thoughts on this, Gemma? Gemma's back doing her own texting now.
I don't agree with sex after marriage.
Don't I know it?
What? I think this is disgusting. I think you're joking about it. Cheapens the whole podcast. I like the erotic paint names. They weren't really erotic paint names, but everything became erotic for Sally and Tim this week.
Yes, it was right. I honestly, I thought it was kind of fun. I am just as irritated by Elaine as they are. I don't get what they're doing with Elaine. They just seem to be trying to make the character an annoying, interfering biddy.
I feel sorry for her because she used to be quite fun, and now she's just turned into a weirdo.
She's just a massive gooseberry, isn't she?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say cock block.
And I don't know who was the most walking around with their heads in the clouds this week, her or Toyah, because I don't get how she doesn't realise that she's not welcome there, and I know she just
how
wants
is
to
she supposed to pick up on the subtle clues when Tim's buying her wallpaper? Talk about mixed messages.
She should really realise. I know she wanted to look after her dear boy, but
yeah,
she needs to find somewhere else to live. Honestly,
where did she live before?
Exactly. She managed to go 50 years without even Tim knowing that she exists.
Exactly.
And now we can't get rid of her.
Didn't she sell her stake in Speed Dial?
Yes.
She's got a load of money knocking about as well.
She should do, shouldn't she?
I'd be off. I'd be on a cruise. I'd buy one of them apartments on that cruise ship.
Yeah.
You can buy one now. There's a cruise ship that's being built where you can just live in an apartment there.
Oh,
and apparently you can, I think the most expensive one is like £5 million.
I don't
but you
think
just
she
live
got that
there.
from her share in Speed
Yeah, but
Dial.
you can also apparently rent it for, I can't remember how much period of time, quite a long period of time, for like £300,000. Surely if she had a house, sell a house, go and live on this is what people in America do, don't they? They just live on a cruise ship until they die.
Yeah, that's the life. Anyway.
Well, if you're, and the good thing about it as well, which you can't do on land, is if you rack up too much medical bills on a cruise ship, you can just jump off the side.
Yes. Well, maybe that's what's going to happen to Elaine.
Elaine's just going to jump off the side of a cruise ship.
And take Kathy with her. What's going on with... Because Kathy was in the story very briefly, wasn't she? What's happening with them and Brian going to Cornwall?
They're not going.
They're not going to Cornwall, but the idea's been put in our heads that maybe they might want to leave. So maybe Kathy and Elaine will end up going off together, possibly.
Start another gritty crime drama.
Yeah.
On ITV2.
Yeah. I don't know. You're not a fan of Psycho? Would you have stayed?
Yeah, bloody hell. I'd rather watch that than Terms of Endearment.
Exactly.
Yeah, Psycho's a masterpiece.
Psycho.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
Tell you what, if there's any reason to dislike Elaine, it was for that.
Tell you somebody else who wouldn't have liked Psycho. Emma.
Oh, Emma would be
I
was dead scared. Oh, when that lady died in the shower. Oh, now I'm worried because I was worried about a shark coming out and now I'm scared of being stabbed to death.
Emma was properly back on form this week for her story, wasn't she?
Yeah.
As silly as it is that they've ended up having a go out with the grandson of the guy that they inadvertently caused the death of, and she's like totally fine with this. It was really fun and cute and lovely to watch. I'm a big fan of Jon and Emma together. I think they're absolutely adorable.
Jon is such a drippy twit though, isn't he?
He's not like he's no Kirk or anything. He's
like the boyfriend from a Disney.
He's a big fluffy puppy, isn't he?
TV show.
Yeah, he is. He's he's lovely. And so they just basically spend this week having lovely laughs together. I was a bit worried when this story started on Monday because it was like Craig and Faye stuff, which I'm not interested in at all.
I don't care about that. Can I just say, I would really like Steve to meet Jon. Because he's so worried about Amy's boyfriend. It'd be nice to know his other daughter is going out with almost the exact polar opposite of Jacob.
Good
like,
point.
I don't think Jon even knows that drug dealers exist.
I think that he's just permanently on Valium. That's why
he's on something, isn't he?
Right, so Craig's getting himself dressed on Monday morning because he's got his back to work attempt interview, because he's decided, well, I was a bit guilty about being involved in this cover-up for a little while, but just like when Roy went off to Peru for a 10-week period, I'm kind of over that now, and I think actually I could be a really good policeman, so I'm going to go back and see if I can get my job back.
So stupid.
Emma walks in on Faye trying to make a doctor's appointment about this baby, because she's pregnant, remember? I forgot about that. But she pretends it's because of the allergies, so Craig makes Emma take Peanut for a walk, and then he's going to take her to Beth. So while they're out on their walk, Emma and Peanut and Jon...
I want to say, the reason that Craig wants to get Peanut back to Beth is because he's worried about Faye taking antihistamines with her pregnancy.
That's right, I missed that. Yeah, so they happen to bump into Beth, and she's like, oh, who's this mystery man? And Emma kind of hesitates because she doesn't want to give the game away that she's seeing Jon. So
she's with Jon.
She makes up the name Martin. So Beth goes back...
What the hell?
I don't know. Beth goes back to see Craig and says, I saw Emma and this mystery man earlier today. But interestingly enough, she seemed to stumble when she said his name. And Detective Tinker is like, ding, 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 I'm on the case here, I smell a rat. So as soon as Emma gets home, she's confronted by Craig and Faye saying, look, this was Jon, right? Well, you were with Jon. And she's like, no, I swear I wasn't. You could go to prison, says Craig, if you're not careful. And but Faye, for some reason, believes her. Because, she says, Emma wouldn't be that stupid, would she? To go out with this guy. And Emma thinks they're behind the door going, yeah, maybe it is a bit stupid. Anyway, Wednesday morning, hooray, Craig's got his job back. The streets of Weatherfield are safe once more.
Just in time to investigate a murder. Yes.
Then he tries to ask Emma about this fella, but she just kind of fibs away through it and ends up having a lovely old time in the hotel later.
Jon and Emma do.
Jon and Emma. He says, oh, I've never felt this comfortable around anyone before.
Prove it.
Fart.
Yeah, exactly.
He asks her about Curtis, and she says, oh, he left me feeling like a torch marshmallow. But now I'm with you, I don't feel like this anymore. So they just I don't even know what they're talking about. They're just having a lovely old giggle, aren't they?
They're just absolute chatting nonsense, aren't they?
But it was utterly cute and adorable. And
they're just
he,
like, oh,
he says, oh, you mean the world to me. Oh, you mean the world to me too. Let's go upstairs and have some hanky-panky.
It kind of reminds me of Galaxy Quest. You know those little aliens where they land on the planet and they're those little cute aliens and they're like, hee hee hee, hoo, hoo, ha, ha,
yeah.
ha. And then they eat each other. Watch out, Emma.
Breakfast the next morning. That was on tonight's episode. They've even got cheese in the hotel and
I tell
everything.
You what,
Emma's like, cheese for breakfast, dude.
I love that. It's my favourite thing.
You do like having a nice continental bit of ham and cheese, bit of German breakfast.
Ham and cheese, bread, a boiled egg. Bloody love that.
That's how you know you're in a fancy hotel.
No, that's how you know you're in a
cheap hotel.
Wow, there are different types of cheese.
Cheap hotel that's trying to be fancy. He says, look, you should just skive off work today so we can spend more time together. So
such a bad influence.
They spend the day walking around Media City, it seems like. And Emma says, oh, look, there's the Coronation Street studios over there. That's where I live. Sorry, I've got to go. And he says, oh, hang on a minute, but what about indoor skydiving? And she's like, oh, that sounds great. Now, that's the scene that I would have liked to have seen them film, but unfortunately we had to leave it to our own imaginations.
Honestly, her cheeks flapping in the wind, like she promised.
Don't we all? So, she goes back home and she's just giddy with how wonderful her day was with this indoor skydiving experience. And she tells Fake and Cray, who says, oh, it sounds like you had a nice time with Martin. And she's like, yes, Martin.
I love him.
She's able to keep it. She's managing to keep it secret just about for the time being, but I'm sure it won't be long until it all comes out.
Oh, she's not going to be happy then, is she?
No.
Oh, those two.
Yeah, I know.
They're too adorable.
They really are.
One of them's going to get kicked to death, surely.
Well, one of the tragic thing is that one of them's going off to Australia like in a week.
I know, but I know
living it up while they can.
I know somebody's mum that lives in Australia.
So do I. I also know that maybe she will go for a little visit there. Anyway, there's no substance to this story. Yes, it is stupid that she's going out with him, and it's a massive coincidence. But
also stupid that Craig's like, I'm going to return to work. Yeah. I don't like boxes.
Yeah, I just think it's lovely that it still proves, like with the Nina and Seb stuff last year, that they can have a lovely little romance when they try, and when it didn't click with Emma and Curtis, and I don't think anybody was really that into Emma and Curtis, were they? No. Was it to do with the combination of actors, or was it because Coronation Street didn't want us to like them together and wanted us to feel that it didn't feel right?
I don't know.
Can you imagine now if they had the same chemistry, you know, with Emma and Jon, and then him saying, "Oh, I'm dying," and then it turns out he's a massive liar? That
would have been more shocking, wouldn't it? Because we didn't trust Curtis. I didn't. I thought something up with him.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell me about what Craig and Faye are going to call this child.
Oh yeah, they're going to put their names together, aren't they?
I don't think they are.
Well, their surname.
They're going to merge their surnames.
No, they're not going to merge their surnames. They said that they were going to swap the syllables of their surname around. So instead of Tinker, they're going to be Curtin, and Faye's like, Windass, what happens if you put that around the other way? It's already kind of bad the way it is.
It's not good, is it?
Is Asswind really that much worse than Windass?
Like, the thing is, right, if you were called Arswind...
Arswind.
That's how I say it. If you're called Arswind, you could kind of like spin it to make it sound like an elf from Lord of the Rings. Arswind.
Yeah.
But would you even be allowed? I bet if you tried to fill that in on a form, it would be like, no, can't be called that. That's not a name.
Well, it's not. Anyway, let's talk the summer storyline. We're on to more of the nothing stories. You want to do this?
Don't be rude.
Well, this was a return to the
us
story that's
reminded.
Been on massive hiatus for like 3 months
still
or so.
Struggling.
She's still got those eating disorder problems, hasn't she?
So on Wednesday, Billy's worrying that Summer's been up working late, and she's getting annoyed because she doesn't want Billy and Todd to pry in her affairs, and she won't come in from work to eat lunch.
She's just working herself to the bone, isn't she? Because she's got her A-levels coming up, and she's just cramming before them all.
Well, she's anxious, and she thinks she needs to revise.
Yeah, she's got a reputation as the smart one in the friendship group to hold her, and she's got a good work ethic. I mean, I also did A-level French. Well done, Summer, for doing A-level French. Not many people do languages, let alone at GCSE, let alone A-level anymore. So good job. But yeah, I did my A-level French, and I didn't revise at all, and I still did quite well. I don't know what she's doing, because I found that you can't really revise for A-level French because they could literally ask you about absolutely anything. So my way of thinking was, I'm not going to sit here and revise my verb tables and my vocab lists, because it's like sitting and learning a whole dictionary. Could be about anything. She
should just watch some Netflix in French. She should watch Emily in Paris and say it's revision. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
So Asha and Nina want someone to come out with them, and she's like, I can't, I've got to revise. And they're worried about her burning out, and Todd overhears them. He's walking past, and he gets worried, and she's like, I'm fine, shut up, I'm fine. In the evening, Billy comes home, and she's on her phone on the sofa, and he's like, oh good, watch a film with me. Stop being such a party pooper. On Friday, she's studying again in the cafe. All of her mates are sending her messages about going to a party, and Billy's like, you should really go, you know, and she gets tempted, and then she gets Voggle out, because Google would not want to be associated with these search results. She Voggles the most alcohol you can drink on insulin, and I don't know what she found out, but she thinks it's fine to drink 5 glasses of wine. The girls meet up in the evening to hit the town. Summer's like, I'm bored of being the sensible one. Let's
Professor
have
Spellman.
Fun. So they all go to Roy's to start their day with a nice banging
cup of tea and a cream horn.
They come out later. She's just like, I don't care. They've all had wine, haven't they, actually? Because Roy's was closed, and Nina's there. Nina joins in. And they're drinking before they leave.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm fine, I can drink, I'll be alright. Who knows? We could get run over by a bus. so let's just get drunk. And she could get run over by a bus because she was standing in the middle of the road while a bus was
I know, she was
her.
like saying it's just life for living and standing in the middle of the road.
Not and she sensible. Also has been run over, hasn't she? They've all been run
over.
She
was hit by a car just last year after the wheel piano incident.
Yeah, like who knows? I could get run over again.
Maybe she doesn't think the lightning strikes twice.
Get run over once, unfortunate. Get run over twice, I start to wonder if you're looking both ways before you cross the road.
I thought you were supposed to be the smart one, Summer.
Yeah.
She's book smart but not street smart.
She's like, anything could happen.
Street smart.
Later on, they go back to the street after having a great night. She's kind of a bit wobbly. Asha is really concerned, and she's like, keeps saying to her, please make sure you check your blood, blah blah blah. And Summer's kind of getting fed up with her because she just wants to pretend that she's not sick for one night, and she can't even have that.
She's not sick though, is she? She's got diabetes. She wants to forget about this condition that invades every aspect of her life permanently.
I don't think it's unfair to say that it's... Oh, right, okay. So inside, Billy's like, do your blood sugar test. He looks at it, it's low. He tells her to have some jelly babies. And she makes an offhanded comment like, oh, I might as well, because the insulin's making me fat anyway, I might as well eat jelly babies. And he's like, what do you mean? You're not fat. And she's like, yeah, whatever. And then she eats her jelly babies looking sad.
Yeah, well, she kind of makes a comment as if I was only joking, don't worry about it, but
she really is concerned about her weight.
Yeah.
And also jelly babies, bleh. Jelly beans, yes.
Would you like a jelly baby?
No, I don't like jelly babies.
Yeah,
they're weird texture.
I don't mind. I quite like that. That's floury on the outside. Ooh.
No, I like jelly beans. They're nice and crunchy, and then you can make weird flavours.
I think I prefer jelly babies.
Oh, well, I'm not sharing my jelly beans with you. Okay. You can have your jelly babies and I have my jelly beans.
This feels like it's going to be a preachy eating disorder story. And after all the proper soapy drama of Abby and Imran and Toyah and Laura and Gary and Rick, it's like I don't need this at the moment. What's the
issues-based storyline of the week? We haven't got one.
This is going to be the downer, isn't it? This is going to drag you like, oh dear.
Oh, don't be diabetic and sad and eat jelly babies and get fat.
It's I like the stuff about her exams and the dangers of over cramming and whatever, but
I really had I was not too bad for my A-levels, but my GCSEs, I think I probably went mental. It was one of the hardest periods of my life, and I don't think anybody really appreciates. Oh, well, I don't think they take it seriously when children get stressed about exams in school. I think they might be doing.
I think they are more now,
but I just think it's awful what we put kids through.
Well, this year as well. This is the first year for a few years that exams have taken place properly because they've been cancelled because of the pandemic the last few years. So you got Summer, who's been studying for her A-levels during the pandemic. She's missed an awful lot of school, so she
probably is anxious about that.
Yeah.
I don't know why the other kids aren't worried.
Oh well. Anyway, the other thing that people were talking about, I saw online this week, was, are Todd and Billy friends again? Because they fell out last year over some heat pump related incident. And he's just managed to worm his way back into Billy's affections, and they're not saying anything about it.
Are they living together?
I've
forgotten what happened.
I don't think so. I don't know where they are at the moment, where Todd is at the moment. But it seems that they're friends.
I don't remember.
But this is the first time I think that Todd and Billy had even been in it this year, almost.
Really?
They've had it's been a very, very long time since they were on screen. So it's kind of nice to see them again, but I can't say that this was my favourite storyline of the week.
Well, look, I think we're being a bit mean.
Oh no!
I mean, the diabetic story is an important one.
Yeah, it's an important one.
Speak to people.
Yeah. It
just feels. The thing is, when it's juxtapositioned against really high, almost fantasy-esque drama of, drug addict having a baby with a lawyer who's lying to his girlfriend because they're adopting, you know what I mean? This convoluted, like, very high stakes, emotionally wrought, thing. And then you've got Summer going, fine, I'll eat the jelly babies. Sort of difficult to
really
find
get
it
as
on
invested.
the same level.
Yeah.
But
I can't think there are many viewers this week that were going, forget about the other storylines, I want to know more about Summer's diabetes.
I did feel really bad for her, though. You know, when you get told you've got something wrong with you and there's no way to cure it, it's horrific, and it pervades every minute of your life, especially diabetes, where you're constantly monitoring yourself and you can't forget.
Yeah.
And she's so young to have to deal with this.
And she's got it for the rest of her life.
Horrible.
I know. But oh well, she'll cope. Number 9. So, Phil's back from his meeting. Do you remember, was it Wednesday he was called in for a meeting? It was a very long one because it took all weekend for him to find out that he's been asked to resign after leaking those secret council documents to Maria.
No, I'm not resigning. Make me redundant and then I'll have my cash, thank you very much.
He says, I don't regret giving Maria the report, but I'm sorry to let you down, Fizz. But it's okay because they're completing... Have they completed on the house sale?
Yeah, hang on. You're kind of glossing over this. The consequences here are he is now unemployed and they're just going to move house together, and this house is like the money pit.
Yes.
And they need the cash to fix it up.
Yes, because it's not in a good way, this house.
They've got a cheap house.
Yeah. Then we have...
But it needs lots of work.
Then we have that scene with the incredibly young-looking photographer from the estate agents outside number 9 taking photos, and he's basically saying, look, I'm taking more photos. You've not had any offers on this place because of the sinkhole. There are a couple of... I don't know who was in charge of this storyline, but they certainly like their quirky side characters this week, because we had this little photographer here, plus there was the ever so slightly camp, I don't know whether you noticed, estate agent in today's episode.
I loved him. He was like,
it was fun.
He knew he was only going to be in one scene and he made the most of it, didn't he? Unless he's going to be in it again.
Anyway,
I would be happy to see him again.
I thought it was fun. The photographer was saying, with all these sinkholes nearby, nobody wants to buy your house. Who'd have thought? Also, this house has seen better days. You're going to have to lower the price here. And Fizz tells Tyrone, but he's like, no, I'm not losing any money on this. I'm sorry, I'm not losing.
He doesn't even want to move.
He doesn't. He wants to drag this out as much as possible. He doesn't want to sell it, and he doesn't want Fizz to move away because he's still holding a torch for her, isn't he?
Well, she also lives with his children.
Yeah, exactly.
There's many reasons.
Remember them? And
he doesn't.
Yeah, she says, look, you're the reason you're in this mess, you and Alina.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Zip it.
Yeah.
Zip it, buddy.
So on Friday, we kind of skipped this storyline for Wednesday for some reason, but it comes back with a vengeance on Friday. And Phil tells Fizz that I'm going to get another job, so we can definitely go through with the sale. It's all be fine. And then they have a little chat about.
Well, they're talking very loudly.
Tyrone's listening into them.
Well, Fizz says Tyrone's struggling to let go of Jack and Vera's house.
Yes.
And he hears them, and he understands that they need to sell this house as soon as possible. And he probably feels guilty about holding them back.
Yeah, and so he this is when they then meet with the estate agent who's whittering on about nobody wanting to buy the house and everything, and Fizz says, look, we don't want to lower the price. So obviously they do want to lower the price, but because Tyrone has just made the decision,
well, they feel guilty about making him sell it. And also Fizz is like, Phil told Fizz, don't worry about it, I'm going to get another job, but I'm also thinking that if I don't have a job at the moment, I can renovate a lot of it myself.
Yeah. So anyway...
Oh, no, that's later.
No, that's later. The estate agent says, this is weird because Tyrone phoned me up earlier and says that we should lower it, and I've done it now. And Fizz is caught off guard a little bit by this, but she says, oh, it's okay, let's keep the price low as it is then. So Phil says, thank you very much, Tyrone. Then he goes and has a chat in the pub with Fizz later and says, right, so what... Now, am I getting this right? So they're going to sell it at a raised price now? They're going to move into the new place, start on some of the renovations themselves? Am I getting this right?
Well, he's saying, look, we don't actually need to sell it ASAP. If we move in, I can start renovating it myself.
I can do a bit of DIY.
And she's
Fizz
like,
says, I can help you. I'm good at that sort of thing, apparently. So they're both quite excited and happy and loved up and everything. Fizz goes over to see Tyrone in the flat, says, thanks very much. You don't need to lower the price now. Because we're going to move in next week, and he's kind of taken aback by this news.
Well, what?
Like that. Yeah, I would say that this was I was looking forward to this story this week. I don't think there was no mega high drama or anything, was there? I guess next week's going to be the bigger one when the move comes. Do you think that it's actually going to happen? Can you see them moving away?
I don't know. I'm just saying. though, that of all the things that I can relate to on Coronation Street, moving house is the most relevant. And this has been an absolute breeze for Phil and Fizz. You know, are going to complete, oh yeah, he's exchange contract, no problem, brilliant. Where's the ranting about solicitors? Where's the heartache? Where's the searchers came back?
I mean, he has lost his job.
I know, but that's completely extraneous to the whole house buying thing.
Yeah, it does happen fairly easily for them. But they've not been in the show much the last
They could have just been on
months.
the phone.
Yeah, constantly.
Like crying,
Christmas.
going, why are you ruining my life? And
but
I'm
instead,
paying
it's
you
been
for it.
quite a nice, happy story. I've been enjoying that. Oh yeah, I'm a big Fizz fan. I like Fizz and Phil. I like Fizz and Tyrone. I like them all. So it's been nice to see them kind of happy.
Yeah, have they like... Because in my mind, this house is like in a field, in the middle of a field, with like a tree, and it looks like the Bates Motel, you know, like falling to pieces, or like the Addams Family house.
Yes.
And have they got a location for this? Is there a rundown old house that they've got location
It doesn't
shooting
feel
for?
like we're going to see this house.
Are we going to see the girls running in circles, happily playing in the grounds of this spooky mansion?
I don't think so. I think that probably they will move out to it for a bit, but I still am adamant that I still strongly believe that Fizz and Tyrone are going to get back together at the end of this whole process. But
are we going to get comedy DIY scenes of Fizz and Phil, like in the Money Pit, that amazing Tom Hanks movie, of them like falling through floorboards and like or like in Only Fools and Horses, like dropping chandeliers from ceilings?
I don't think we will. I
would kind of like that. I want that to be a spin-off. Every single story can be its own spin-off.
Okay. Finally, this week we had the Thriller the Chess story, and Nick has booked Sam into a space camp at the the Manchester Science Museum or something over
Is this a
Easter.
product placement?
I don't know. And Sam says, "I don't think I like space
anymore.
anymore.
Space is crap.
Space is his thing." Nick
Space
can't believe it.
Sounds like there's no future in space. It's chess all the way for me.
And later on, Nick finds this game record diary thing that Roy gave him with, and he realises that Sam has been playing secret chess games with Roy all this time. It's not that
secret, because he's written down every move they've done.
Yeah. So then he
never write it down.
He starts to have an argument with Leanne about keeping it a secret, and she says, "Oh, I knew you get like this. That's why I didn't tell you. What's the problem?" He says he's obsessed. So that no.
Nick says Sam's obsessed with chess.
Yes.
Well, he was fine with him being obsessed with space. Why doesn't he care? What's the problem with chess? I think
he thinks it's bad for his self-esteem that Roy's being
just
beating him all the time.
Nick really thinks that Sam's going to be an astronaut.
He's
the right age and he's bright enough. He could be the first man on Mars.
He could be, couldn't he?
Yeah. He really could be. That would be a good story for Coronation.
Alternate reality.
Is there a space? Is there a chess and space camp?
No.
Is there a chess camp?
No.
Okay.
Not in Weatherfield,
I'm just checking.
Anyway, I guess this is ramping up to something for next week, but this story has always been a bit like, where is this going?
I know, what's going to happen here?
And now it's been away for a few weeks. It's like, it's still the same. It's still Nick thinking he's obsessed, and now he's just... So it was a secret chess for like 2 episodes, and now he found out about chess. What's the point of him playing secret chess? It was a bit... it was a bit like Craig losing his job at the police station. Yeah. What was the point if now he's doing it again? And
maybe it's a life lesson that will come in handy in a future storyline for Sam when he realises you shouldn't keep evidence of your transgressions.
Maybe,
like, yeah. Never keep a written record.
Anyway,
of clandestine chess games.
As if we didn't like Toyah enough, she does save the day at the end of this by coming in and says, "Stop talking about chess. I'm going through dramas here."
Listen, people have got real problems.
Yes.
On this planet.
Thanks, Toyah. And that is it for this week's Coronation Street, which I think was a jolly good week. But how jolly good was it? I'm kind of going between a 4 and a 4.5. It can't be any lower than this because apart from, the summer stuff, not mega invested in. The Tim and Sally stuff, it was fine. It was kind of funny. I pretty much liked all the stories, and the 2 main stories of the week were both very, very fun and exciting. Are you got? I mean, I don't want to just copy from you, but have you got any scores? You decided what you want?
I thought the scenes with Imran and Toyah. Oh God, I wanna.
We knew it was coming.
Oh no, it's the end. It's the end.
Today.
It's the end, isn't it? It's the end of an era. That's
Yes.
the end now. It's gone.
Yeah.
No, it's all been ruined.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the end of Melancholia or Colia, whatever, where the asteroid spoiler, the asteroid hits everybody and we all die.
Oh, thanks.
That's what it's like. Well, you know, the opening credits did start with that happening. So if you didn't realise that what the film was about, you were kind of a bit dense. Anyway, I reckon I'm going to give it 4.5 torched marshmallows.
I was going more
Actually, no,
4.
I'm going to give it 4.5 erotic paint colours.
How do you have half a paint colour? It's only
It's
half erotic.
It's just beige, you know. Does it count?
I think I'm going to give it 4. As much as I loved it, I don't know. I'd maybe wanted there to be a few more twists in there.
Well, how about the twist that Toya's actually the mother?
What?
Now that would shock everybody.
It's a 4, but it's an incredibly high 4. 4.
Well, you're like an evil judge on Strictly Come Dancing.
4 strong pots of tea and a shortbread out of 5. And
that's not even funny.
Sorry, I didn't have to be.
Who's the character of the week?
This is really difficult.
Everybody's just setting fire to their faces and then blaming other people for why their nose has fallen off.
I've got so many people that I could do character of the week. It could be Laura. It could be Toyah.
Laura.
It could be Imran, despite what a dirty dog he is. Could be Abby. Kevin was great. Emma was lovely. Jon was adorable. Elsie. Tim and Sally were kind of fun.
Can I just say,
Fizz and Phil, I just like how happy they are.
Do you know the movie Big?
Yes.
You may have heard of it. Tom Hanks, another great film from him. He's getting lots of shout outs today. He's going to be thrilled. In that story, as we all know, famously, Tom Hanks's character, as a boy, discovers a fortune-telling machine and he wishes to be big. And he grows up and he becomes an adult. I think that happened to Jon, but he's a dog in a man's body. He's a golden retriever, isn't he?
Instead of big, it's dog.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right.
You better watch out, Emma. He's going to be humping your leg before you know it. That's not going to be as cute, is it? Well, I'm giving it to Toyah.
No, God, I was thinking but she didn't do enough this week.
She bloody ruined the whole thing, is what she did. She just torched her dreams and futures in front of everybody. She's the torched marshmallow of the week.
Yeah.
She was so soft and fluffy, and now she's hard and crusty.
I'm going to score this 4 hard, crusty Toyahs out of 5.
A little bit bitter.
I might give it to Imran, even though he absolutely doesn't deserve it. But
he did a good lawyer, didn't he?
He did do a great bit of lawyering on Wednesday's episode, and he was fun with Elsie, and he didn't do the right thing, but I certainly enjoyed watching him. And a couple of weeks ago, you gave him character of the week, and I didn't, and now I'm just
you feel guilty.
making up for it. But it's not usually this hard to pick a character of the week, and I'm interested to see what the listeners go for, because there's a wide pool that you could have gone for here.
I can't believe what's happened this week. I can't believe it.
Well, it's just been a good month, really, hasn't it? Because we were very, very down on Coronation Street for pretty much most of January and February. Let's be fair.
But those are hard months for anybody.
Yeah, the hump months of the year, aren't they?
Oh, rubbish, aren't they?
Even though there was no humping for Sally and Tim.
Sad times.
But the stuff with Tim's heart attack, the Joseph stuff. What other stories did we have?
I don't know.
It just didn't quite feel like it was getting off the ground.
The Craig and biscuits.
Yeah, the Craig and Faye and the Crutch Man, and it's just like, no, this isn't quite right. What's going on? Please, Coronation Street, just get off the starting blocks. Yeah. And March has absolutely done it. From when we went to our 3 episodes a week with Abby's surprise baby.
Oh my God.
Combined with the Laura and Rick Neelan stuff, it has been a really, really strong March, and I don't know, it's gonna crash and burn at some point. It's not gonna keep this high. It can't. But it just goes to show, like I always say, when I'm down on Coronation Street and people are saying, "I'll just stop watching it," then I'm like, no, because it'll get back up again.
And when you get agitated about a story and they go, "It's not real," what are you moaning about?
I am riding the wave of awesome Coronation Street at the moment, and nice. Long may it continue. Anyway,
well, I'm also loving it. It's tragic.
I'm hoping that they got some big stuff planned over Easter as well. You can't always guarantee big stories at Easter, but you never know.
Can't believe all of this. Can't believe this. I can't believe it.
So much fun.
Imran.
Oh man, I'm mad about that.
I'm going to chop his fingers off one by one and make him eat them.
Yes, that'll learn him.
Or shove him up his bum.
And with that, let's move on and do some news.
Teach him, innit?